And they
still waiting for mine to come up. It's not coming up. What do you think is going on with mine at this point?
Denied it.
Oh, what did it say?
Denied it.
Well, why is denying me?
I told you I was off her hospital. You want to go on her hospital?
Oh, I see. It's denying me because I'm still having the issues. I guess. Okay, so hello everyone. Are you listening on his?
I can't get on.
You can't get on Hamid's?
I'm trying to go on.
That's me though. That's mine. You got to go to Twin Reed. Hello everybody. Welcome to our 7th episode of our BYRD podcast series. We don't have our music man with us today. He's celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday, Preem.
Happy birthday, Preem.
Happy birthday, Preem.
But we still are gonna move forward as best we can. I'm Cynthia.
I'm Hamid.
And today we are gonna start off where we left off, which was the hypothetical that Hamid gave about you have to say it again, somebody in the car. I forgot what you said.
The hypothetical term of snitching, when you're in a car and your friend asks you for a ride, take him home, or anywhere that he asks you and you decide that you want to take him, and then he doesn't share with you that he has a gun or drugs on him, and somewhere down the line you get stopped by the police and they check the car or frisk you down and they lock both of y'all up.
They find a gun.
Find a gun.
In the car or on a person?
Well, let's say in the car. They find a gun in the car,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't reveal that the gun is his. So the police has no other choice but to arrest everybody that's in the car.
So that was the hypothetical that he left off with. So the question is, what would you do in a situation like that? And while you think on that, we're going to we're only live streaming today from Hamid's Instagram account. Oh, mine just popped up. I'm at BYRD podcast. Hamid is at Twin Reed Street.
Correct.
And we're live now. The Facebook Live is not functioning today, but we will put a recording of that up at as soon as we're finished here. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to clear up. Maybe clear up. I'm not sure, Hamid, because the last time we were here, we were talking about what an attempt was and a conspiracy, and I just want. I'm gonna get to the snitching part. I just want to throw this in right quick. This is information that you can use if you go to Model Penal Code Section 5.01. It explains what criminal attempt is. So that's if you get charged with attempting to do something and it doesn't actually go through, like you attempt to make a drug sale, you don't actually sell the drugs, but you get arrested for the attempt. So Model Penal Code Section 5.01 explains to you what criminal attempt means. And it basically says that a person is guilty of an attempt to commit a crime if acting with the kind of culpability otherwise required for commission of the crime, he purposefully engages in conduct which would constitute the crime if the attendant circumstances were as he believes them to be. So basically, an example of a drug sale, if you believe that you are about to make this drug sale and you act or engage in conduct that will facilitate that, even though you don't actually make the sale, that could be the attempt.
Wow.
But look at the section 5.01 criminal attempt. If you have any questions, you could let us know, and I'll try to go into it with further detail. I just don't want to. I want to get into this other conversation, and I don't want to carry.
But before you close that up, so don't attempt to distribute falls under that too?
Yes, and that's when you get to the whole issue about packaging. One way that you can be charged with attempting to distribute is if the packaging is such that it's beyond personal use. So you can't have, if you have bundles or whatever it is that you would have, bricks, as opposed to one bag of dope or something like that, you can get charged with attempting to distribute, even though you haven't.
The actual amount of
more than one person could use at a particular time. So that's an example of how you could get to an attempt, even though you didn't sell none of those drugs, but you had them on your person, and it looks as if you were going to sell them or distribute them in some way. And another thing I wanted to talk about right quick is we talked about conspiracies, and you can withdraw from a conspiracy. If you want, you can get out of a conspiracy by withdrawing from it. So
could you
give
more information on that?
Yeah, the case that my computer's working slow. The case that you can look and find out more about this is Smith v. United States. It is. Well, the site is kind of off, but try 133S.CT.714. It's Smith v. United States. It's decided in January 9, 2013, and this talks about withdrawing from a conspiracy. So say for instance that, you remember we were talking about the robbery, and you said, I went off to get my cupcake, and you said it because you said, well, what if I was in the car, I came, and then I just said, hey, listen, I don't want no part of this, I'm going to have a cupcake.
No, you didn't even have to say that. You could just be like, well, I'm going to go get a cupcake, and you went to go get the cupcake. That takes you out of the conspiracy section.
Well, it has to be more substantial than that. So that's the case law that I gave you, talks about how the step has to be substantial. It's an affirmative defense, just like if you have an alibi defense or self-defense, it's a defense like that. Okay. So the state or the government doesn't have to prove it. You have to prove it.
Oh, okay.
So
the burden lies on you.
Right. So I can't just move off and it turns out that I went to get a cupcake. No, I have to make some substantial step to say, listen, I'm not involved in this anymore. I'm going to get a cupcake. Y'all do whatever y'all want. I don't want no parts of this. It has to be something concrete.
Oh, so you gotta, even though you removed yourself by going to get a cupcake, doesn't necessarily take you out of the case.
Right, and it definitely doesn't take me out of the case up until whatever participation I had in the conspiracy, up until I said I'm out of it, I could still be in on that. But this is important for statute of limitation purposes, because once I get out, you can't continue to hold me because I'm really out, even though the conspiracy moves on and gets bigger and continues to thrive. Here's another case. Huh? Do you hear it?
I mean, I hear it. You hear it?
Oh, this was so. Another case you can look at is United States v. Moore, and this is a Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, number 10-1736. It's United States of America versus Errol Moore. So you could look at that. It talks about substantial steps taken to get out of a conspiracy. I believe that's the case. And then all of that is the backdrop to all of this is the is an old case. I'm going to give you the site for this. This is Frederick Hyde, Hyde, and Schneider versus United States, and this is 225 US 347, and this case is a 1912 case. So it's a very, very old case. But we were talking about how a lot of our cases, the foundations of our cases are old. Well, this is a 2012 case that talks about being in a conspiracy and getting out of a conspiracy. So you can look at those cases if you want to find out more information about that. So now, back to the situation that you were talking about, Hamid. What would you do?
I think in certain situations, if you're gonna give somebody a ride, I think it's appropriate to ask them if they good, if they clean, if they got anything on them.
Well,
and even then, the person can still lie just to still get the ride, but to get pulled over and fall into that, I don't know. I wouldn't still tell the police that it's his. I'm expecting that my man will step up to the plate, and if he don't, and I happen to take that ride to jail with him, I don't know. It's a sticky situation, because if you tell, you still labeled as a snitch.
Well, you think that you would be labeled as a snitch if you're in a situation? Well, first of all, I just find it quite unrealistic to get into your friend's car and ask them, do they have something on them? I would never think to do that, no matter what I know my friend may be doing or may not be doing, or what I suspect that they may be doing or may not be doing, because after all, friends are just friends. We don't be together every day. I don't really know what you're doing in your life.
But if you know your friend and you know what he into,
But sometimes you ever had a friend where you were surprised that they got caught up and got charged, and you were like, "What? I ain't know." Yeah, so you could easily have
some friends that you know that's still out there playing.
Well, if you got those type of friends, you can make a decision not to take a ride with them. But I'm just talking about like a regular friend that you have. You don't know them to do nothing in particular. Because friends are not like sometimes you don't even know what your kids are doing, but your friends are like you talk to them and see them every once and again, but you don't know about the ins and outs of their whole entire life.
Yeah.
So if I got in the car with you, I wouldn't be like, Hamid, you got something on you before I wouldn't do that.
That's my position to ask you that.
You would ask me that if you got in the car with me?
In my car.
Wait, if I got in your car, you would be like, "Hold on, Cynthia."
I'm not. I'm not saying you.
We're talking about friends.
I would never ask you no shit.
And I wouldn't ask you nothing like that. Did you just curse? Because you gonna get some candy.
He ate you too later.
About to take a dip. About to hit the toilet.
You gotta wait till after this is over with.
I don't know if I can hold my bowels.
You would want to keep dipping into the damn.
See?
Oh boy. Okay. No, I can pick my own. All right, I'll take these. I like these. These are the chewy lemon heads. Y'all like these? I like these. My Instagram keep going in and out, so I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna keep pushing the button, but I don't know what the heck is going on. But first of all, I think it's very unrealistic for people to get a ride and ask what the person has who's in the car, or what the person who's getting in the car has. I've never asked anybody that I've gotten into a car with, "Do you have anything on you?" And nobody's ever asked me.
Me either.
So you get into the situation easily.
All right, so put yourself in. I don't know if you could put yourself in somebody else in the street, in their shoes, where you in a situation where you get in the car, you get pulled over, and they find a gun in your car, and he never said nothing to you. What you gonna do?
Well, let me tell you something. I can't even really answer that question because I don't know what I would do.
But you don't go by the same terms that we do as street people.
But if I did say that that's not my gun, I don't think anybody got a right to be calling me a snitch about it. Mm-hmm. I think that's a bit unfair, Because you put me in a situation. I mean, I could try to ride it out as a friend, but what kind of friend were you to put me in a situation when you know I got a life, I got kids, I got all kinds of stuff going on. I don't need to be up in this. And you know, with the new bail reform, I gotta sit. I gotta sit. I can't even make my bail that night.
Yeah, how your kids gonna pay these bills?
And my kids will have a holy fit. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a touchy situation, but I think sometimes the idea of a snitch, sometimes it take it too far. Mm-hmm. It takes it too far. Now, if it was a situation where I'm in a car and everybody, or I'm not gonna say me, because all I do is eat cupcakes. But what I'm saying is a situation where everybody in the car is in that, they in the life, they know what's up. They can expect that certain things go down. When they get locked up and nobody takes the weight, and then one of them tells, is that snitching?
It shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah, it's still, but that's still snitching.
So basically, snitching is anything that you tell. If you say anything to get yourself out of a situation, then that's snitching.
That's.
And is you really gonna get stitches for that?
I mean,
because that's the saying. What, snitches get stitches? That's the saying. So under every case scenario, if you give up information to get yourself out of a situation you ain't supposed to be in, then you still got a problem.
Okay, well, let's talk about the person that's putting you on the spot when he not taking ownership of the gun. What do you call him?
He's a snitch too, but it doesn't fall under that line.
Well, how he a snitch?
Cause he could have been man enough to say, "Yo, that's mine. I ain't even gonna put you on the spot and put you in this."
But how is he a snitch? So a snitch is not somebody who...
Yeah, indirect snitch without even saying... Well, he can't
so he getting you in a situation...
Nah, he can't really snitch because it ain't your gun. Mm-hmm. It's really his.
But by him not saying nothing... the implication is that...
Yeah, he worse than a snitch. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else you could call something worse than a snitch, but when you putting somebody on the spot like that where... I don't got nothing to do with this. Why would you even put me in this?
Right.
And then you don't take ownership and say it's yours. Could we call him the remix snitch? I don't know.
I don't know what we gonna call him.
But he gotta be called something.
He definitely gotta be called something.
He
definitely gotta be called something.
When we go in jail, I can't be like, yo, he a snitch. I gotta be like, yo,
worse than that.
You different. I'm stuck with the word what I could call him.
But what about the situation? Because I had this case in my when I have cases, I have sometimes I represent everybody. Because now they got this whole joint community gun thing. So everybody.
Is the community?
Yeah, the community gun.
So it's more than just one person involved with
that
gun.
But usually the state, if one person,
they're trying to cover all.
Yeah.
You can't. Ain't no wiggle room. Can't wiggle.
Like all this stuff we've been discussing, it ain't no wiggle room. You just once you get in, you in. You might as well, I don't know, do the best that you can. But I have situations, and this happens a lot, especially if it's a couple, like a male and a female.
Yeah.
And they both get locked up with one gun in the car, and then sometimes the female will ride it out, but the guy is going to take the weight at the end, but he's just trying to figure out how he going to deal with his case. Right.
Trying to play his cards.
Right. So in that case scenario, would the female be a snitch because she want to get out of the situation and she don't want to ride it out? Would she be a snitch?
Yeah, she'd be.
And what is he for not getting her out of the? Getting her out of from the door.
Yeah, it's the same situation.
It's the
same situation, but the female adding it. Mm-hmm. With the female, you could give some. It could be some leniency.
Okay.
It could be some leniency towards her.
Oh, so you wouldn't view her as a snitch?
Nah, because most of the time the men expect the woman to tell.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And when the woman don't tell, it's unexpected. Like, oh, she rolled it out. But we expect, because most of the time the female she got more to lose than the man. When she got kids and she, running her kids is the attachment in itself. The man they won't expose that to the public like they would your boy, your man, or a dude. They won't expose it like that. They could accept the female tongue.
So
they can't accept it, but it's still a hard pill to swallow. But it's more lenient than the men's side. But the men's side will sure enough be a snitch. Yeah. You anywhere you go down all the way down through the system. They going is exposed to the inmates. Is exposed to whoever once you see who he talk. Yo, don't go over there and talk to him, but he snitched on my man. Blah blah blah. Got paperwork. I mean, the paperwork gets spreaded because the dudes, what they do is, if I know you down in prison and I'm on my way down in prison, I'm gonna fly you a kite and send you a copy of the snitch paper. Like, yo, look, old boy told me. That's like a statement or whatever. The statement. Yeah. So when you get downstate, or even in the feds, it could be real hard for you. It could be real ugly for you. Okay, but what if it's a situation where one of the people in the car, it used to be in the streets, but and y'all were all friends then, but then one person, actually went to school, was in college, maybe on a football or basketball scholarship, and that person gets locked up with the community gun. That's not his. What kind of position? He gonna still be a snitch if he tell to get himself out of the situation? Yeah, no. But I think sometimes in that situation, some people may look at the circumstances different, because they may say when it's two sides to a story. A lot of times jokers don't want to hear the other side once you get snitch. But when a dude be like, yo, I'm in the car with me and take the gun, bro, I got a scholarship, blah, blah, blah. So I told, he's still considered a snitch, but it's just
do what he have to do.
It's still not excusable, because he know the rules of the game. Regardless of him having a scholarship, he grew up under these conditions. For somebody that didn't grow up under these conditions, we expect, that's like my boss. If I'm in the car and do something and he telling me, I'm not gonna be mad, because he don't go by the same rules that we came up under. Even to me, I even look at it like even lawyers or any political, all this goofy stuff that's going on and with this Trump stuff, jokers pointing the finger, telling they don't go by no code. They don't go by the same code. So is that considered snitch when they telling on each other? What code do they go by? They signed up. They went under oath and took this job under oath with the intentions to make the world better, or So what rules do you go under when they tell on each other? So lawyers? Lawyers or political. Oh, well, I don't know about political. I'm a lawyer. Let's say you got a partnership with another lawyer in the office, and some things go haywire where he get y'all in the investigation. They go question him, and then he tell everything on you. You consider him a snitch? What rules are y'all came under to come to that kind of agreement? Well, I think that anybody who engages in a joint activity, so like in your example, if it would be me and my lawyer partner decided we're going to involve ourselves in a situation, and we end up getting caught. One of us ends up getting caught. I don't think that the other one should say anything, because we both knew going in that this may happen. But so if he did tell on me, I think he would be a snitch. No. Because it's a difference. Because coming from the street, we already have this understanding. It's already talked about. It's brought to the table. Yo, you know what I mean? Ain't no snitching when you come over. We don't do that. You know what I mean? Y'all never came to the table. I mean, do political or people or lawyers come to the table and say, look, we're going to do this, but we ain't snitching on each other if it go down. Y'all don't even, y'all got the understanding by itself without saying that because we doing something criminal, committing a criminal
It's implicit
activity.
in the criminal activity that somebody might get caught, then the other one. This is just okay. I can't speak for all lawyers. I am one. This is one woman's opinion. I happen to be a lawyer, but what I'm saying is that if anybody gets involved in criminal activity and they decide to do it jointly together, my view is this: if one person gets caught and the other person does not get caught, then the person who got caught just needs to take the weight.
Read it.
Just needs to take the weight. The difference between this is coming from gosh, my eyesight is bad. Okay, the difference between, it says this is someone who is strong
armed security.
Yes. The difference between a snitch and a law-abiding citizen is if you are in the illegal activity game and you run your mouth on any level, is a snitch. So
that says everything that you said.
That exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
we agree on that. So you have to
I beg to differ, but
how you making a difference between growing up in the streets and doing criminal stuff and then not growing up in the streets and doing criminal stuff. But it's the focal point is the criminal activity. Now, say for instance, the two lawyers decide that they're going to do something, and maybe the husband, I'll say my husband, now I don't want to say that, my partner's wife, who ain't in none of this stuff, gets caught up in it, and she tells what she knows because she don't want to get herself in a situation
and risk all her stuff getting on too.
Yeah, so she wasn't part of she wasn't part of the deal. So could I be mad at her for talking and cooperating? Oh, and we're saying snitch. Okay, so legal terms, it's called cooperating. Giving truthful testimony is something that is always said. Like if a person does the plea agreement and part of the agreement is that they give truthful testimony.
That all falls in the same category.
That's all this, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So
we just using the respectful word for it.
I think the repercussions are different from the attorneys than the street side.
Okay, so the repercussions meaning that if you from the streets and you know the code and you violate, you might have a problem.
Yeah.
For the law, you will have a problem.
Yeah, you're gonna have a problem.
Although I beg to differ on that because I've had lots of situations where people have given truthful testimony and they don't have no problems. So I don't know if snitches really get stitches. But
it depends.
That's another story. But what you say, I understand that, is that if two lawyers did it or two people who are not familiar or with the street code or not part of the street code, then there's no, everybody just gonna get in trouble.
Yeah,
that's so basically all that's gonna happen.
When you go down prison or whatever, feds, prison, anything, you think the street dude really care that another lawyer snitched on the other lawyer? I'm like,
no.
But we all come from the same but different areas, and you told them about a gun or drugs. Yeah, we care about that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I don't understand about the street code. If your man did not take the weight for his own gun, and you say the gun ain't mine, how you the bad guy? I just don't understand that. What he get away with?
That's what we was talking about before. What do we call him? What kind of repercussions do he get?
But do he get a repercussion?
Nah, they don't get repercussions.
That don't make no sense.
They gonna look at it like, yo, you should have rolled it all the way out and dealt with him later on. You could have dealt with him later on once if you got through through the charge, however the charge played out. Then you could deal with him later on. But right now, you still got a code to go by, and you didn't go by that code. So right now, you the snitch.
Because it put a strain on your family, your friends, your other friends that don't have anything to do with it. It's just it's
It's
just
messed
like a
up the
ripple
way it
effect.
looked, but that's the way it is.
Well, I mean, I guess when you say that you could write, you're supposed to put faith in him. First of all, he didn't take the weight
The
from
faith,
the door.
how much faith
but
did
you
you
put
put in him when
well, that's what I'm
he didn't
saying.
take the weight from
Exactly,
him?
but that's what basically what you're saying. You got to put faith in him to work it all out at the end.
Yeah, and it's times that it do go like that where you once you get in there and you have those talks, or he may don't understand his role, what he did, what he doing, because in his head he thinking like you supposed to go by the code, so however it play out, he ain't looking at, well, damn, let me be a man and man up to my, my charge.
It's just unfair.
Yeah, it's
some
unfair.
people still
So it's just a messed up situation, but
some people will still have the gun and still don't want to take that charge, but know that it's them because they just don't want to go to jail. How fair is that? It's not fair.
I don't think that that's fair.
It's not fair.
But that's
it
what's
happens
going on. Yeah.
all the time.
They
Do you
doing it
think
all the
that could ever change, or that's just the way it's gonna be?
Nah, that's been like that forever.
Yeah.
Like you get locked up. I've been in situations where I had to sit and sit it out for nothing. I had nothing to do with nothing. If I'd have told, I'd have looked like the bad guy.
And that is especially with conspiracies, because you could. I've had listen to wiretaps where there's like one person and his part or her part, because I'm not revealing any particular case, is such a small amount compared to what everybody else is doing. But I don't never see that person getting out of the case. The person can get less of a plea offer. They could get probation, but they never like, okay, well,
he wasn't the main factor. He wouldn't even be a main factor to the case if it went however it went.
Right. And it's also not solidified that person was actually involved in a conspiracy. It's all based on the police law enforcement interpretation of the conversations. So they don't have to law enforcement does not have to give you the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, well, this person's got like 2 conversations and it could be drug related, it could not be drug related. You just in. And that person right there is expected to ride it out as well. I don't know. It seems to me
riding it out might be the wrong thing to do sometimes. What other choice you got? Because when you go down prison, you don't want to go down prison in the worst conditions where you have to.
Now talk about that. Talk about the conditions of, because you about PC and so you could talk about that and what that's all about.
So when you snitching and you gotta,
or when you're labeled a snitch,
when you label a snitch or label cooperating with police, you put yourself under on a spot where you can't even go to population, because especially if you're in a gang, it's even worse. So you can't even go to nowhere in the building on population.
What do you mean by on population?
Where you out on the tier with everybody, and you got you got more access to being out more than to opposed to being on quarantine. Quarantine, you go through the process where you stuck on there to they finish doing the physical and everything. You don't got no freedom to really. But
that's for everybody got to go on quarantine when they first come in.
Quarantine, but that's how PC is.
Okay, PC is protective custody.
Yeah, protective custody. Now, when you go on protective custody, you subject to less freedom. You stuck in a room 23 hours a day. You going out just like if
you get out 1 hour to do everything.
They do everything. Take a shower, make a phone call, and that's every day through the course of you being in there. So, just for your safety,
because you got that label on you.
You labeled. So it make it hard for you to live in jail because of that. So who want to live like that?
Right.
I don't want to live like that. But you either gonna live like that or you're gonna get killed. Now you got people in Cali, in different states, different like Jersey got a little weaker in certain, like northern state. They get you anywhere. And the nurse, you going to the nurse. They get a physical. They popping you in front of the police. They doing everything. They don't care. Once we get him, wherever you see him, he got to get got. And shanks made out of everything. So now when you go to prison, everything is like plastic. But there's always ways to still find ways to make shanks. You can't get a pen. You gotta write with a pencil. And even with a pencil, you can make something out of a weapon. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard living like that. And when you know you're going to jail and being a snitch, you got to make a decision in your head before you even get there. Like, what you going to do? I mean, you could try to hide as much as you could, but it'd be like it's everybody from the town is always going to be somebody from your town down wherever. If you go down Northern State, it's somebody from North down there. If you go down Southern State, it's people down North there, and the letters fly, kites fly. That's how everybody communicates.
Now, is that person in jeopardy by just everybody just because they're labeled a snitch, or is it the person and the person that they snitched on and the people that are with them?
Now, if you, like I said, if you a gang member, it's worse. You in jeopardy by everybody. But when it's your own set that you involved with, it's even worse. It's even worse for you now. But like regular, normal people like us, it's just like, oh, he a snitch, stay away from him. But now it's like you got a hit out on you. They sent the kite is a hit now. You see him, get him. And then when you even check in PC, you got some gang members that check in PC to get to you, just to get to you.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so it's ugly to play that game.
And then and the part that is scary for, I guess, the person who cooperates is that if you get locked up with the co-defendant, they're going to get that statement because everybody has to get the discovery.
Yeah, so, that's the part. That's where that's where the copies get made. So when they send a kite out, that's attached to the letter. And you get to see everything that's being said. And the person entitled to his discovery.
Now, what about the people who cooperate, who don't end up getting involved in an investigation? They're just cooperating. You know what I mean? Like they just cooperate, but they're not.
They're not in the case.
They're not in the case.
Yeah. Yeah, they still consider a snitch too.
And they got the same problems when they walk the streets.
Yep. I mean, the street is worse. No, I think prison is worse than being on the street. You got more room to just move. You can move and finagle and get around a lot of stuff. But in jail,
you can leave the state and everything.
You can leave the state. You can. It's hard. It's harder to try to catch you on the street. But when you're in jail, there's no escape. And you're going to be uncomfortable your whole time that you're in prison until you get up out of there.
The CEOs won't
So
help
you better hope you get out alive. And the feds is worse. They said it's worse in the feds.
Well, I just think that there ought to be an exception carved out for the person who is getting caught up in a situation that's not his situation. Like, yeah, like there should be, there's no exceptions to the code.
That one right there, the long paragraph.
Oh, that she read it.
Yeah, that's the one I read.
Okay. There's no exception to the code. That's the sticky part. Is like when you getting caught up and you getting pulled over, and if I say, even saying this more dry snitching. They pull you. All kinds of snitching is different. It's different ways to snitch. It's just like, remember I told you could call your man and be like, yo, you could bring me some work. I'm at such and such address, and you get blocked off. You get blitzed by the police a block away before you get to his house. It's obvious that he set you up. Then you got another way of dry snitching. Well, that ain't dry snitching, that's snitching. But then you got another way of snitching where the police pull you over, we both in the car, the gun, that ain't my gun. Alright, well, if it ain't your gun, then it's his gun. And then he might say, well, it ain't my gun. Alright, well, if it ain't your, well, we locking both of y'all up. You still going anyway.
Wait a minute. So the guy who's who really has the gun,
he's saying it's not his gun.
Well, that ain't no friend.
No.
Yeah, but then
you think a friend would do that?
Yeah, you got people they doing that every
your
day.
Friend?
But he's not a real friend.
Jeez.
Especially if his jacket worse than mine, so when he say that ain't my gun, he insinuating that is your gun.
Oh, because he expect you to take the weight because your jacket is not as.
Yeah, you got some people that's doing that too. They doing that where you ain't really got no record. So take this word from me. I got you
on a gun.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, them guns coming with that stip time.
Yeah, you get all steps. I'll give me some half of that so I can get to the halfway house fast. All steps, you gotta do steps off of it.
Yeah. You
don't get no flats.
Well, it's 42 months going in.
Yup, 42 months. 5 with a 42.
I don't know.
That's 3.5 years.
I don't got a friend that I would do 3.5 years for because their jacket is bigger than mine.
They doing that with the females too. You know what I mean? The female take the weight. I got you. You know what I mean? They gonna give you probation.
Well, since we're talking about the guns, there is the Graves waiver. When you go in, when you get locked up for a gun, they changed the laws a few times. But now when you get locked up with a gun, you're looking at a 42-month stip. And that's the stip is the parole and eligibility, how much you have to do before you're eligible for parole. Now, though, they have what's called the Graves waiver. So you can make an application to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor is the only one that can do this for you. Make an application for them to waive that 42-month stip and give you a 3 with a 1.
And what's that based on?
You got to submit documentation, like maybe that you're in school, or you've been working for a long time, maybe from your church, your recommendations from people who vouch for your character.
And that's if they accept it.
If they accept it, and if they accept it, they don't waive you to probation. They waive you to a 3 with a 1. But then if you go to sentencing, you could ask the judge for a 360, a probation, usually 364. It's a new case. Remind me the next time to pull the case. But there's a case that says that you can now ask the judge for probation, which usually comes with a county bid, 364.
With the exception of the prosecutor agreeing to the...
No, the judge has the discretion at sentencing, but the prosecutor is the one that can give you the Graves waiver initially. So you can make the argument. Some counties are stricter, and I'm talking about New Jersey because we're out of New Jersey. Some counties are stricter than others in New Jersey.
We're not going to name no counties.
No, we're not going to name no counties. But some are more strict than others when it comes to those Graves waivers.
Yeah.
And there was a time prior to all these laws being changed that if you had a straight possession, a gun possession, and that was it, meaning that you didn't bring it out, you didn't try to use it, you just got caught with the gun like in the car, you could get probation. It was a 3rd degree offense at one, and then they changed it to a 2nd degree offense. So all gun cases now are 2nd degree or higher.
Well, it could be higher if you're using the commission of a crime, right?
And also they got like if you there's I gotta look and see exactly what it all means, but you can get penalized given the number of guns. Well, there's the convicted felon. That's one. That already was a penalty. The convicted felon is that if you have a criminal record and you get caught with a gun, then you get the convicted felon charge, which comes with a 5-year stip. And
it used to be a 5 with a 5.
Well, that's the 5-year stip. Yeah. So the least is 5 years before you're eligible for parole, and they can run that consecutive to other charges.
Yeah. If you got caught with drugs with the gun,
and that's a charge by itself too. Drugs with gun. That's a 2nd degree charge.
It's like you protecting the drugs.
Or you're using the gun in the commission of a drug offense. So you can get that separately. So conceivably, you could be get that, which is a second degree, and get the max would be a 10. And if you get half of that, a 10 with a 5, and you can get that, and then you can turn around and get another 5 with a 5 consecutive to that for a convicted felon.
That's what the prosecutor want to be a-hole.
Well, I ain't gonna say nothing about nobody's a-hole, but all I'm saying, it could happen. It could happen that way. So the gun cases are really, really serious.
Do they count the bullets if they're hollow point? Or they're separate?
That's not real. That could be a separate charge, but that's
really
not.
Care about that gun.
Yeah,
you got the gun.
Yeah, that's not the more you need to worry about that gun more than you need to worry about anything else, unless you shot somebody with the gun, obviously, because of course you got to worry about that a little bit more than just having the gun.
Yeah, but there's different ways of telling, and there's different ways of people putting it on people that don't have the same thing that you have on your jacket. Even somebody that got 1 charge on his jacket and you got 4 charges on your jacket, they'll still try to show, yo, take this, but I got you, go ahead.
But what's the I got you part?
I got you.
That's just
like, I'm going to look out for you. I'm going to make sure you're all right.
But that's not true. Cause
yeah, then when you go in there, you don't hear nothing from them.
I think I would be all right not going to prison as opposed to going to prison. I know what you're saying. I understand everything you're saying, but to me, if somebody don't take the weight for their own stuff, they should not expect nobody else to take it. I don't care what kind of code there is. If
the
it's
code messed up, it's messed up. But
how does that code?
What part of that code is right at all? I can understand if y'all both are into the mess and one person get caught. Okay. I get that part, but if you don't have no knowledge about what's going on, how could you be?
But at the same time, you tarnish the relationship too. Everything from that point on, like we never friends no more. There's nothing for me to say to you no more. All that shit gone, and then it's like
candy.
Whatever. When I see you, just you got handle your hand.
That's what it leads up to.
Yeah.
But never mind all that. I'm talking about going to prison for somebody. What the heck?
You gotta death is involved at this point. Serious harm is you could be in the car with your peoples and you snitched on them and you home. Everybody in the car getting it.
If you told that something was not yours, which was not yours.
Yeah, they still want to take it as snitching.
Wow. It's that street life ain't no good.
Nah, you lose all the way across the board.
Well, that's why we got our mission statement. And Miss Shakira, can you come on and tell everybody what our mission statement is? Because we done went down the wrong damn path. And I'll take my piece of candy. But damn ain't really no curse word. Oh, okay. I'll take it anyway. Come on up here and tell us what our damn tell us what our mission statement is. I think we almost 15 done.
Minutes. We got 15 minutes. Hello, everybody.
Hey, love.
Beyond Reasonable Doubt is a visual podcast series focusing on the legal system as it impacts and infiltrates our everyday existence. The mission is to free our minds by sharing knowledge and experiences in order to promote awareness, inspiration, and self-love. Always stay true to yourself.
Amen.
Tell it.
Now, before you jump out the chair, can you tell everyone about all our, because I'm getting confused at this point, all our different YouTube, Instagram, telephone numbers, all that information for people so they can.
The call-in number is 973-877-3737. We're on Instagram, BYRD Podcast Series. You can go into the Instagram page and click on the link in the bio. Please subscribe to YouTube. It's the same BYRD Podcast Series on YouTube and on Facebook too.
I think series is the only thing. I think Instagram and YouTube is only BYRD podcast.
Okay, without the
And
series.
YouTube I think is two separate words, BYRD and podcast.
Okay, I had to check it.
And now that we're on that, let me share something else with you.
Okay.
Now, if you've been following us, you may have noticed that our name is Beyond Reasonable Doubt series for Facebook, and Beyond BYRD for BYRD for thank you, BYRD podcast for Instagram and YouTube. So beyond, we have two separate words. Now we know beyond is one word, but there's a reason that it's like that, and I'm about to share with you right now.
Beyond reason.
Hold on, stay with me. Shakespeare. Anybody from high school?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the guy that did Romeo, Juliet. Da, 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 da. So now he has a Julius Caesar was another play that he did. I don't know what the exact name of it was, but Julius Caesar. There's a scene in Act 1, and this is where Caesar says this. He says, "Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Yond, Y-O-N-D, which is what the Yond is for. Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous." So I like that phrase or that part of the play, because he reminds us that some people think it's dangerous when we use our minds and we think too much. So he says Yond Cassius, and Yond, archaic in the old meaning, is over there. So what we're striving to do is to look beyond over there, what we're being told and what we're being conditioned to believe, to use our heads and see if things are logical, learn about how the system works so we can maneuver better in it. And I would say that what I've learned today in this podcast, that it's not reasonable to me that somebody has to carry the weight for what someone else does just because of a code that's out there in the streets saying that it should be the case. If you are engaging in criminal activity and it's your gun, your drugs, your whatever, take your weight, and don't expect your mans and them, just because they grew up in the streets with you, to go to prison for you, because you don't want to go to prison. That's what I think.
And that's true.
That's the logic way they think.
Like, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Right. So
the other way
is
it just leads you. Yeah, that's the proper word. Because I'm gonna lose everything just to be down with you.
It's not worth it.
No.
It's not worth it, especially when there's so much more to life than this little, hood that we're a part of and we were raised in. We have to go beyond. See, we can say Yond again. All of that, and try to find a better way.
The definition behind Yond and beyond is different.
Well, I say beyond. So you, as a person, let us be that. Not just go beyond, but let's be beyond. Let us be the type of people that look further and go further and try to find the logic and reason
over there.
And let's not be like he said. He's Caesar, who is afraid of this thinking man. He says he wants men about him that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep a night. So he's saying he wants people around him who don't think. They just sit around and they eat and they drink and they be married because they're not thinking.
And the one that's thinking is more dangerous.
And he's over there.
Yeah, he's over
so
there.
let us all go Yond over there. And with that in mind, I think our time is up.
Yes.
Is our time up?
Just about 5 minutes.
Okay, anybody else got anything to say? What we talking about next week? I don't even know.
Oh, we never got to the bullying thing.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about bullying. We're gonna, and we also got to finish up Miranda, which we did a long time ago on Miranda, and I don't even know. I think we left off at knowledge. Knowing and voluntary. What does that mean? And this is the good part because law enforcement can use deception